Hello YouTube! Because of your amazing response in the last few videos, I've put in extra effort to create the third spearfishing episode of July. So this was the first day when I was spearfishing in the afternoon looking for fish. I ambushed behind the rock here and I saw a few salpas coming and eating out there, so I tried to get close, but they detected me and dipped. It was probably because the sun was hitting my mask from the right. A few moments later I came across another shoal eating and the sun was behind my back, so this was my chance. You have to move slow without using your fins or touching the bottom, so the perfect weight balance is the key. I managed to get into the shooting distance and I hit one. It was going crazy all over the place and it went into this hole where I snatched it. Of course, another friendly reminder to open them up ASAP. Dived down pretty close to this gilt-head Seabream, but it swam away before I could shoot. I was sneaking here and almost got to this shoal that had this big salpa in it, but this rock made it very difficult to aim the gun and it didn't came back. About 20 meters later I sneaked on another shoal with big salpa, but this time they didn't detect me and I shot one. The hit was slow, but luckily it went into the crack there and I grabbed it and dispatched it. I think the salpas are very underrated fish and people think they taste bad because they've never eaten fresh ones. Another beer can found, and I suggest you also mount a small net like I have and clean your spots as you go. I was ambushing here and this looked like a baby Dentex, but I'm not sure. What do you think this is? Tell me in the comments below. If it's a baby Dentex, then the big one must be around also. I also found this board paddle with missing upper handle, so someone had to throw it into the sea on purpose. Even if the upper part broke by itself and the paddle fell into the sea, it won't just sink immediately, it needs to get filled by the sea first, and that takes a few minutes. I ambushed here because I knew this spot has some big gilt-head Seabreams and I've also seen a couple of Dentexes here. I also expressly checked this crack for any fish, but it was empty and also none fish approached. About 10 minutes and 100 meters later I ambushed again and this gilt-head Seabream started approaching, but then just turned around and dipped. The sun was behind my back, so I'm not sure, maybe my camera gave me off. Did some sneaking on this reef and all of the small fish started acting crazy, which is bad because it lets all the fish around know there is a predator in the area. When I almost reached the end, I saw this sheephead bream and it was already scared because of all the small fish movement and it swam off. About 20 minutes later, this sea bass came by just before I wanted to dive down and it was a legal size, so I shot it. I later ambushed on this spot because I was hoping for a leerfish or amberjack to come. You have to look in all directions because they usually approach you from behind. This was another leerfish dive and you can see I'm rotating 360 degrees mid-depth to cover all possible approach directions. Nothing came, but then I saw those red mullets and they got my attention because I never caught or eaten one before. One came in front of the spear gun perfectly and I shot it. I've heard they taste amazing and I know it's really popular fish for chefs to prepare. They don't grow much, so I needed another one, but this time I missed. I found a couple of cans next to the ambush spot and picked them up. A few moments later, in a bit shallower sea, I saw this gilthead seabream and did the good old cowboy dive trick. It was kinda cheap shot, but it's like a sea's way of saying thanks for removing all the trash. Here's the middle-sized gilthead for you, bro. I was in the sea at about 6:20 in the morning and I caught this gilthead a good hour afterwards, as you can see here. The shaft also penetrated this sea cucumber, so I had to remove it by using a knife. I saw this Salpa in the last moment and tried to cowboy shoot it, but I missed. Found this head and that was probably blown off some woman's head by accident and not thrown into the sea on purpose. Another gilthead seabream came while I was at the surface and I managed to pull the cowboy hit again. The hit was good, so no worries about it going anywhere. On my way to catch another red mullet, I found this shoe and another can and took both. They were kinda laying there on the sand, so I let myself sink without using my fins to not scare them off. They are pretty small, so it was challenging to hit one, but I'm glad I was successful. I ended up covering them with aluminum foil and baking them in the oven, and they kinda taste like mullets to me. I'd say nothing special about them. We grilled the sea bass and 2 gilt-head sea breams, and I must say there is nothing like a freshly prepared fish that still swam around a few hours earlier. That's all for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe as it helps the algorithm and ensures you won't miss out on the future content. Thanks for watching and stay safe while diving.